Music of Harry Connick Jr.
Political analyst Len Bergstein will join us to discuss the day's events and try to put in perspective what it all means. And still ahead in this news hour, we will bring you Senator Packwood's news conference in its entirety for those of you who may have missed it today. But first, the reaction. Senator Packwood's public appearance was eagerly awaited by Oregonians as well as the rest of the nation. Here in Portland, both supporters and opponents gathered to watch the news conference. Rosie Fiallo reports now on reactions to the senator's apology.
I plan to remain in the Senate.
Members of Oregonians for Ethical Representation listened to Senator Bob Packwood with little expression on their faces. But afterwards, this bipartisan group showed plenty of emotion.
He's lied to Oregonians for 20 years, and now he thinks he can dismiss it with an apology.
I'm not going to get into the specifics of each and every charge.
Opponents want the senator to resign. They accuse him of continuing to dodge questions about the sexual harassment allegations made against him. They also accuse Packwood and his staff of attempting to discredit alleged victims.
And it wasn't just sexual harassment, as bad as that is, but physical sexual aggression. It wasn't 20 years ago, but as recently as 1992.
He said that his behavior was wrong. Well, in fact, in many instances, there are serious questions about whether his behavior was criminal.
The mood was more upbeat at the Heathman Hotel where Packwood supporters gathered. This group accused the media of conducting a modern-day witch hunt and defended Packwood's record.
I'm really proud of him. I think he's addressed this issue head on. I think he has addressed it correctly. I think this is going to be a new day for this problem and bring it to the attention of people.
I am prepared to cooperate fully with the Senate Ethics Committee.
These Packwood supporters say the controversy hasn't hurt the senator's credibility and that he should remain in office.
From our viewpoint, Senator Packwood is not guilty of anything. He has admitted indiscretions. They are not sexual harassment. They are improper behavior.
The people of Oregon should give him a chance. He has stated that he is sorry. I don't know what else they would expect from him.
What we can expect is the issue to remain in the forefront for some time. A Senate Ethics Committee investigation is expected to begin sometime in January. Rosie Fiallo, the 10 o'clock news.
Victims of Senator Packwood's alleged sexual misconduct are not satisfied with what they heard this morning. The apology and news conference did not answer the questions nor the complaints of former Packwood staff member Julie Williamson, lobbyist Mary Heffernan, or model Tiffany Work. Jim Hyde surveys their reaction to the senator's first public appearance since the charges were made.
It's not enough to know that he's sincere. Not yet. And I think it has to come from additional behaviors.
The additional behavior Mary Heffernan is looking for is Senator Packwood's resignation. The former lobbyist, who says Packwood suddenly grabbed and kissed her, called his apology and accepting of responsibility appropriate. But she wants to know why he allegedly called up her friends, seeking information about her mental state to discredit her.
I believe that Bob Packwood should be removed of the power that he has to hurt other women.
Julie Williamson has also been one of Packwood's public accusers. She says the senator didn't say much of anything today. Williamson has accused him of kissing her and trying to take her clothes off when she worked in his office. She reiterated that Packwood still doesn't get it.
I don't believe that Bob Packwood is sincere at all. I think that he's just throwing out things that he thinks might soften public opinion about his behavior, and I don't want to be a party to that.
Tiffany Work says she was a 13-year-old model working at a political banquet in 1973 when Packwood grabbed her buttocks. The senator denied Tiffany Work's accusation, the only charge he specifically refuted today. She said he's only paying lip service to the media. Opponents of Packwood are waiting for the apparent next step, specific details to be analyzed by the Senate Ethics Committee. But some don't expect that will be sufficient either.
And I'm not sure that a process that is run by the senator's colleagues can offer due process fairly to all those people involved.
In Portland, Jim Hyde for the 10 o'clock news.
Joining us now with a perspective on the day's events is our political analyst, Len Bergstein of Northwest Strategies.
Len, let's start by asking you this. What do you think of the statement Senator Packwood made today and of the impression he made?
Well, Kim, I think it was one of the most clever and one of the most controversial apologies I've ever seen in American politics. Right up there probably with the Checkers speech by Dick Nixon when he agreed and apologized to wrongs, but then he tried to cover that up. It was clever because he defined what it was, the conduct that he did that was wrong. He apologized for that, and then he tried to ask people to judge them on his total record. It was controversial because I think most Oregonians, or an equally large number of Oregonians, will feel cheated that he didn't deal with the other issues that we're talking about, this whole question of the cover-up and discrediting his alleged victims.
Will Oregon voters accept this apology?
I think this places him right back where he has always been in Oregon politics, Dave. He's a 50% senator. In his last election, he got 52% of the vote. I think he's split the electorate right down the middle. It's obviously a very controversial issue. I think he's got a sizable number of people who are now willing to accept this apology and willing to put it behind him. And of course, his supporters are there to rally to him. But there's an equally large group of people who are just furious about this stuff.
He has said that he will, of course, go before the Senate Ethics Committee, that the due process will continue. What do you feel would be the most fair thing he might do to Oregonians, or for Oregonians, for his constituency?
Well, I think he ought to come back here. We've talked about that, I think, as both something that's important for healing for those purposes, and also for him to stand in front of the Oregon voters and deal with them on a one-on-one basis. Perhaps some sort of an open forum in a community, or some place where he'd appear where media, Oregon media folks could interview him and have him stand up and answer all the questions in front of everybody.
You think that's what he should do? Do you think that's what he will do? At the very end of his press conference, after it was already stated that the final question was asked and answered, somebody went up to him and said, "Are you coming back to Oregon anytime soon?" And he said, "Well, that's the end of the press conference. We're not taking any more questions." Conventional
wisdom would say he'd stay in Washington, D.C. The Clinton administration begins to offer him some cover. He doesn't have to come forward. He can say, "I'll appear before the Senate Ethics Committee." I think if he was going to do a smart thing, because it would be unexpected, he'd come back to Oregon, show up somewhere, and begin to face Oregon voters. After all, there's really nothing short of this recall that can be done to him. He's there for 6 years, and I think it would be a touch of class for him to come back and begin to start a healing process.
Glenn, thanks very much for your comments and your thoughts tonight. We will continue our special coverage of the Packwood News Conference in just a few minutes.
But there is other news this Thursday night. We'll be back with that, and David Apple will be here with a complete weather report. Stay with us.
On a schedule in Boise State.
Offensive coordinator Al Borges has been offered the job to replace Alan Hildeside tomorrow, and Rick Mears quits in auto racing.
Wow, for good?
Yeah, he's had a few big crack-ups.
He sure has.
Thank you, Mike.
Michael.
Okay.
Park